Welcome, this is Zan with Repro Products. Today's video is an intro video on working with a Revit model to upload to BIM 360 Design and how to use the Autodesk Desktop connector as well. Here I am in Autodesk Revit 2019. I have a Revit model that has been created to represent an architecture model. I want to take this model and save it as a central-based model for work sharing purposes up into the BIM 360 Design cloud-based portal. To do so, obviously you have to have an account set up and you have to have information on that account set up properly. I'm going to jump over to Microsoft Edge for now, and you can log into your account this way. You can head over to b2.autodesk.com/access, and it will give you multiple choices for accessing your BIM 360 content. If you click the BIM 360 Account Admin button, it will take you to this tab here called Account Admin. This is where you set up your projects, your members, your companies, your analytics, any settings that you need, and any additional applications that you need as well. And you'll see all the different third-party applications that are available to work with this Forge platform. First thing you'll need to do before you start uploading your Revit model is to create a project. I have several already in here to work with, and if I need to add a new one, I just click Add. It'll ask me to give it a project name, a type, and all the pertinent information. You can always enter this data later. For now, for the sake of the video, we're just going to put in a name so that there's a spot for us to upload content. So I'm going to call this project name Test 2019 BIM 360 Design. And then we can obviously put in additional content. Let's say, for example, office and whatever data you need here. I'll click Save and Continue, and it will ask you to prompt for things like the job number, the project start date, the end date. So there's certain things that you will need to input. So I'm going to click Save and Continue and force it to say start on tomorrow, end Thursday, just so we have something. Give it a second after you click Save and Continue. And now the project profile has been saved. Close this. And then you have to activate all the different services that you're going to use for this particular project. In our case, we want to make sure that document management, project management, design collaboration are turned on and activated. So I'm going to click Activate, and it's going to ask for the particular project that you're working with. So we're going to do this as the 219 test. And we have to assign a project admin. So in this case, it would be me. And you see the name is already popping up in the drop-down list. That's because under members right here, I've already set up those particular members and what companies they belong to. Hit save, and the document management aspect is now valid. You can always add more people to be administrators for that particular service. So let's activate project management. And then obviously company, it's kind of understood because you've already inputted it. So if I go in here and click start typing, you'll see it. I'll hit save, and now project management is activated. I can then go to the design collaboration. We need to have this one definitely turned on. This is basically your collaboration for Revit in the cloud. They've changed the name obviously several times, so it's BIM 360 Design now. So click Activate, and again, set up a particular person to be the admin. And hit Save. Now that those services are finished, click Finish. Give it a second. And now that that's finished, I can click Test here, and it will open up that project, and it will list the members, the companies, and the services that are available. and then obviously your profile for that particular project so you can input that data. This video is not meant for us to go through all of the functionality of the BIM 360 doc design platform. That would take all day. We need a course for something like that, which we can offer as well. So for now that we've created our particular project just for something to locate to, we can start to work with Revit. I'm going to jump back to Revit. I have Revit 2019 open. I have this model created. If I head over to the Collaborate tab, I can click Work Sets, and this particular model was initially created for a previous version. And so it's going to give me some minor errors, but I'm going to correct them as we go along. I just want to show you that in this particular central model, work sets were initially set up so that you have an architectural work set and a structural work set, and there's content in there that has not been assigned to their respective work sets. That's why they're called work set 1. For us to create the BIM 360 Design Revit model in the cloud, there is a button here that says Collaborate in the Cloud. Now, when you click this button, it will open up this window. And actually, depending on how the model was initially created, you may get a previous window, a different window that will ask you how do you want to collaborate, either within your local area network, standard work sharing, or with BIM 360 Design. And that was based upon 2018 R1 and older, or collaboration for Revit on the BIM 360 team platform for 2017 and older. In this case, since we're in 2019, it's going to know to put it on the Forge platform on the BIM 360 Design server side. It's going to default to the BIM 360 site. We as a company, Repro Products, have our own hub, so I can double click this to get into that hub. And now you'll see that particular project that we created earlier, and I can place it in there. I'll click Initiate, and then it's going to ask you to place it where you want to place it. So I'm going to put it under Project Files. These are the specific files and folders that come as a default. So let me back up a little bit. You have a Plans folder for you to throw up files that are meant to be time-stamped kind of files for people just to look at in general. The Project Files folder, when you go into there, there's a whole bunch of folders that they set up for you. So you can put it wherever you need. Obviously, you can make your own files and folders, and we'll do that on the BIM 360 Design side. So for now, I'm going to put it under Designs, and I'll click Initiate. What this will do is it will take this Revit model, upload it to the BIM 360 Design site, save it, turn it into a central model, make sure work sets are set up properly. Then it will create a local copy of that model and make sure that the file you're working with is that local model. Now, depending on how big your Revit file is and your connection speed, will dictate how long it takes to create the file. Now, mine is relatively small, so it did not take long at all. I'm going to click Close, and then I'm going to click Save so that I can save the file locally. I'm going to close it so that it's closed. Now, I have another Revit model that's an identical one, but for structural purposes. So we're going to upload this one as well so that it has functionality and we can link a Revit file into another Revit file that's cloud-based. Again, let's repeat the process, so this is good for learning purposes. Head over to the Collaborate tab of the ribbon, Collaborate in the Cloud button. Your window will pop up. Go to your hub, go to your file project folder, root folder, click Initiate, and then place it where you need to place it. And then let it do its thing again. Just like before, it's going to upload the file, turn it into a BIM 360 Design model, make sure the local model is created as well, and make sure everything's synchronized and functioning properly. We'll click Close. I'll hit Save to Local again, and I'll close the file. Now, back here in the Recent Files window, which is what it used to be called, this is your Revit homepage now. You can click over here on the left-hand side. You'll see Recent Files. You'll see your BIM 360 Design Project hub. Okay. And then if I need to open up the file, I can either click Open here and get to BIM 360 Design this way, or if it's already shown here under Recent Files, you can access it. For us, since we just started, we're going to use the open dialog box. Click BIM 360 icon to get to our hub. Expand our hub, get to our project files. Go to the design subfolder where we placed it and pick the one that we want. Now, if I click open, you're actually opening up the central model from the cloud, and then you can start doing work. You don't actually have to say file save as a local copy, not like in the traditional work sets functionality anymore. Okay, so you just do what you need to do in this particular model. Also, if I click open and I go back to BIM 360 again, go back to the hub, go back to my project files, I can also open up the structural model. And now you can see the structural model is open as well. Now, if I want to link the structural model into the architectural model, traditionally you cannot have both files open. So I'm going to close the structural model, synchronize with central, and then just work with the architectural central model. Since I built these models, it's fairly clean and there's nothing strange in regards to the positioning and things like that. So let's go to the Insert tab of the ribbon, and we want to link the Revit file in. When you do this, when you initiate the command, it's going to obviously assume that you're linking into this file another file coming from the design hub. So obviously it shows up here. Click Project Files, go to the Design, and pick the structural one. Look at your positioning. 9 times out of 10 it should be origin to origin unless something else is going on that you need to be aware of. Click Open, and it will link in. So this is the functionality of how do you use the software to create a BIM 360 design Revit model from a regular Revit model, to create the hub, to create the project, to upload the file and start working in that respect. Now let's jump back over to Microsoft Edge. And we were talking earlier in the beginning of the video about the Autodesk Desktop Connector. This is the BIM 360 Docs desktop-based application that you can download and install. And it's similar to a desktop syncing type application like Box or Dropbox. So head over to info.bim360.autodesk.com for Desktop Connector. Put in your email address, click Get the Desktop Connector, and it will take you to the choice of either 64-bit Windows or Mac. Choose the one you want and install it. I have already installed it on mine. So since I have installed it, I'm going to open up my Windows Explorer, and you're going to see once it's created, you're going to get 2 links, one for BIM 360 Design and one for the old BIM 360 team. This is for those who are working in Revit 2018 R1 and lower. So if I expand BIM 360 and expand the Repro Hub, I'm going to see my 2 projects that I had previously. If I hit F5 to refresh, it may refresh, it may not. I may have to close this and open it again. So let's close it and open up Windows Explorer, and let's see how long it takes to get BIM 360 Design to see the new project. In this video, for the sake of understanding BIM 360 Design and the desktop connector portion of it, let's jump into another project that I set up a while back. And this one also has project files, and it has a whole bunch of folders and subfolders, and I actually created folders for the an architect, MEP, and structural content. And you can see the data here, see? So if I wanted to open up a Revit file, I wouldn't normally double click because you don't normally do that anyway. You don't normally drag and drop this file into the Revit environment to open a file. You typically go straight from Revit and open up via the BIM 360 icon, the big blue B icon that we were working with earlier. Using the Autodesk Desktop Connector application allows you to quickly copy and paste files from, say, a local drive to this particular project for some reason. So let's head over back to Project Files. I'll create a new folder, and I'll call it Miscellaneous for deleting. Now that that folder is created, I can expand it and I can put whatever I need to put in there. So let's say, for example, I open up another Windows Explorer, head over to, say, Pictures, and grab this Autodesk folder. I'll copy this and then go back here, right click and paste. And if for some reason it doesn't allow you to paste, let's open up Windows Explorer again here, and then we'll just expand this a little bit. Head over to Pictures and see if I can drag and drop this way. And this will allow me to copy the files, that folder, into that project files folder that I created earlier. Okay, so let's try one other thing. I'm going to go back into this folder, grab this folder, right click, copy. I should be able to come over here, right click and paste, but if I can't, then I have to drag and drop. So the Autodesk Desktop connector hasn't been designed yet where I can just copy paste with the right click. If I just Control V, it'll allow me to paste it into that folder that's on the cloud. Okay? So let's jump back over to the admin side and let's look at, say, oh, my apologies, let's back over here. So when you click the project home page, the second icon, this will take you to the BIM 360 Insight project home, and it gives you information as to the location, the date, the cloud, the weather, all that kind of stuff, any RFI. So this is kind of more on the project management aspect of the particular project that you're working with. So when you click here, you can see all the different projects that are available. If you go back to the initial unified access icon and click BIM 360 Docs, this will take you to the BIM 360 Document Management Portal. And you can see here all the files and folders for that particular project, the AU 2016 I was talking about earlier. And then you can see all the content that's in there. So for example, under Architect, you can see that Revit architecture model from the previous project that we worked on. I'm going to close this, and close this. I'm going to go back to the BIM 360 Docs again. Or better yet, let's go back to BIM 360 Account Admin. And here's that test one that we created earlier. Let's click this, these 9 little dots right here. This is kind of your navigation button. If I click this, I can go to Document Management for this particular project. It will initiate, and then you can start to see it populate. And so it tells you right now there's no content in this particular folder called Plans. But if I head over to the Designs folder, you can see the 2 Revit files that we have. Okay? And obviously, if I click the Revit file here, it'll open up the HTML5 viewer based, and it will show you all the Revit content that we uploaded. So this has been a quick video on how to work with BIM 360 Design, how to take a Revit model and turn it into a BIM 360 Design model, how to upload it to a project that you initiate, and then just work with the Autodesk Desktop connector. Hopefully this video is good enough to get people started, and then obviously if you have further questions or whatever, we can do training and I can work with you one-on-one. All right, thank you very much for watching.